Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot with your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey with me. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you, and if you are new here, welcome. This is a reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. We do things completely differently here on this channel, so with that in mind, should the messages happen to resonate, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And also, if you're interested in supporting the channel further, please check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. With that, today we are doing Unspoken Truths, Their Hidden Thoughts About You. We're going to be using the Whispers of Love Oracle by Angela Hartfield. I love this deck. I love all of my decks. What deck do I not love? But no, really, I do love this deck. I felt like this was perfect for this reading. So let me move this out of the way. And we're going to actually start with our prayer. Little discombobulated, still Mercury retrograde at the time of recording this. So yeah, hang in there, everyone, because it's been a roller coaster ride this time around. I don't know about for you, but for me, for sure, it has been one crazy roller coaster ride. Okay, my beloved source, this prayer is for anyone and everyone that comes onto this reading, whether it's for the entire time or for a moment's time. Today I ask that you help us open our hearts to unconditional love. In this realm, it's difficult sometimes for us to imagine unconditional love for what it really is. Acceptance, patience, and kindness. Many times we get stuck in believing that it has to be or fit into the expectations that we have. And we're not realizing that. We're not seeing that part of ourselves because we're comparing others to the things that we ourselves would or would not do. And so when people don't fit into that, it's difficult to see it for what it is, that those individuals are showing up based on what they know in that moment and based on their own decisions in that moment, and that is okay, even if it doesn't go in line with our own agenda of what love should be. It's easy enough to blame everyone else. It's easy enough to see that everyone else has done us wrong or is coming from a low vibrational place, but sometimes we need to open up to taking accountability for ourselves and recognizing that we too were raised in an conditional based love environment, that we too are learning to accept what true unconditional love is and can be, that we too are human and we will make mistakes and have our own grievances along the way, and that is okay. You never expected us to be perfect. You never expected us to get it on the first try. You never even expected us to get it on the 100th try. You only asked that we try. And as we try to open our hearts and understand each other from the same eyes that you see us with, from the same heart that you embrace us with, from the same hands that you support us with, we begin to understand that love is, has, and will always be the existence of who we are at our core. And we need not chase, expect, or strive to get that from someone else. I ask that you open our hearts to the truth of this unconditional love within us. May it be forever our guide, and may you always be at our side. As these words are spoken into this space and upon this tribe, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Hase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. Wow, that was a powerful prayer. Alrighty. Alright, so let's go ahead and shuffle and get this going for you. Alright, Source, what love whispers oracle cards will help us better understand the unspoken truths, their hidden feelings, or their hidden thoughts about my fellow humans? What are their hidden thoughts about my fellow humans? And feelings might come up along this reading as well, so just keeping that in mind, because it did start to come out. I started to say it, so it makes me feel like it's going to be something that does arise. Alright, Source. Unspoken truths. Their hidden thoughts about my fellow humans. Okay, thank you. Unspoken truths. Their hidden thoughts about my fellow humans. Alright. For pile number 1, Source, what Love Whispers Oracle card will help us better understand the unspoken truths, their hidden thoughts about pile number 1? Whoa, thank you. Okay, and for pile number 2, Source, what Love Whispers Oracle card will help us better understand the unspoken truths, their hidden thoughts about pile number 2? Thank you. And for pile number 3, Source, what Love Whispers Oracle card will help us better understand the hidden truths, or unspoken truths, their hidden thoughts about pile number 3? Their hidden thoughts about pile number 3. Thank you, Source. Collective energy. Appreciate this moment. Every situation is an opportunity to grow and to find love. And we have number 33, which is a master number here. Creativity, abundance. Your angels are with you. Your guides are with you. You're not alone on this journey. I feel like sometimes there's this collective energy of loneliness because we don't have our soulmate, or because we don't have the partner that we want to have, or that we feel like we're, in some cases, entitled to have, right? Because of certain labels or beliefs that are going around. And this disconnect that we're feeling because, well, what am I doing wrong because I'm not getting this partner? Or what is it that they're doing wrong because they're not coming to me? Or like, what is it, the punishment that I'm experiencing because Source is not manifesting this person into my life? And so we're so stuck in this future, the fear of the future, and even the hurt from the past because of being abandoned, neglected, abused, or breadcrumbed in the past. And so we're basing this moment that we're lacking something on what it is that we've experienced from the past, and thus projecting that into our future because of this moment, rather than coming in and being present with what is. That I am an embodiment of love, that I am everything that I need, that I am everything that I desire, that no one outside of me can fulfill that role, because it is my job to fulfill within me. You might come up with that resistance of, well, what about, having someone to touch, hold, and kiss and love you? And we can do those things for ourselves. And that sounds silly. Really, it does. But it is very powerful when you become so truly intimate with yourself on all levels. Intimacy with having deep conversations with yourself. Intimacy by being deeply honest with yourself. Intimacy by deeply taking care of and having compassion for yourself. Deeply intimate by being the partner you've always wanted in your life, and taking care of yourself in various different ways that are behind closed doors, right? And this may seem like, oh, we can't do that, or like, no, I can't fulfill the role of another person. But if you're always looking to someone else outside of you to fulfill this role, even when someone does come in to fulfill that role, there's going to be a feeling of something being amiss and a potential for self-sabotage. And we want to walk away from that self-sabotaging energy. We want to leave that where it is, because it doesn't belong to us, and it never did belong to us. But we were conditioned to believe everything outside of us held more power than we did. And when we look at that, right, every situation is an opportunity to grow and find love. If you're struggling right now because the person that you believe is yours, that because there's a title there, and I'm not going to just put the titles out there, we know what we feel our title is, right? And so because of a title, you're saying, well, I am entitled to this love, this relationship, this connection. That becomes a trigger for us. And thus, how can we use this situation as an opportunity to find an even deeper understanding of unconditional love, acceptance, kindness, and patience for how things are, and not pushing ourselves to a back burner because of a titled connection. Whereas I've seen people who've waited years and years and years and years because the belief is that this person's coming to me while still not growing the way that they need to. And so we have to remember that no matter what, right now is our opportunity to expand, that we don't need to do anything. It's more about becoming. How can we become the embodiment of love and unconditional love? So it says, challenging circumstances rarely make sense at the time. It is important to face what is happening so you can learn the lessons. Ask the angels to show you what is important in this moment. Learn how to be. Try sitting in silence for a few minutes every day. This will help you become conscious of your feelings. Take in the world around you. Instead of rushing through your day, tune into the sights and sounds around you. It is important to practice being in the moment. Turn off your mobile phone and find ways to be engaged in whatever is happening instead of looking for an escape. Become aware of your thinking. Take note what you are worrying about and bring yourself back to the moment and focus your attention on this present moment. It says, a maiden wearing a crown of seashells gazes into a conch filled with beautiful images, right? There's a whole bunch going on inside of this shell. The seashells represent creativity, imagination, and shared emotions. A conch shell is blown to begin special events and announce an arrival. This may indicate good news or a new beginning. You do not need to do anything other than have gratitude for what is in front of you right now. So again, it's not about what is coming, what might happen when this person's coming. It's about how can you find presence by being truly grateful for this moment and relishing in what is. Okay? Wow, that was really powerful. I didn't pull out any dice. I guess we're just going to do these today. I couldn't tell you why I didn't pull out any dice. Usually I have a dice for you to pick from, but I just didn't today. It's been something I've done every day for a long time, but we're just going to go with it. There must be a reason for that. So, all right, for pile number 1, we have this cute little red heart for you to choose from. I don't know if you can see that. Whoa. Definitely wants to be on pile 1. There, maybe like that. Okay. For pile number 2, we have this beautiful piece of garnet. And for pile number 3, we have this arrowhead. And it's interesting, I don't usually bring out channeled messages when I'm going through this, but right now I kept hearing Shot Through the Heart by Bon Jovi. So that might be something else to resonate with for pile number 3. It just came in so loud. I was like, oh, okay, I need to say this. So pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And whichever pile you feel drawn to, that should be the pile for you. And with that, I will see you over there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this little heart, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be your reading on Unspoken Truths. They're hidden thoughts about you. First, I want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey with me. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And if you are new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And with that being said, we do things a lot differently around here, so if the messages happen to resonate, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Let's hop to it and find out what their hidden thoughts are about you. And I do just want to point out that no matter what comes out in this reading, or any of these readings, if you happen to watch them all, that whatever's coming out is never a reflection of you. We're tapping into them, okay? And so the good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, this has nothing to do with you as a person. That it is where they're at in this moment, and leaving that with them, not taking that on as a personal vendetta or a personal attack or anything like that, okay? So just pointing that out before we get started. So source for pile number 1, what are the unspoken truths? What are their hidden thoughts about pile number 1? Can you share with us the unspoken truths today, source? Their hidden thoughts about pile number 1. Okay, interesting. So we've got the 4th house, we've got Aries energy, and the South Node. They're really in this space. Let me grab my block here. They're really in this space of trying to let go of either there's a family member here that they're trying to let go of, or they're really trying to let go of the past that the two of you shared. And I'm going to say that because right now they're very certain that you're all consuming, right? You are all consuming for them, and that is getting them in a lot of trouble. You know, in life and in the situation that they're in. They could be in a very codependent, passive-aggressive relationship currently with a third party, or they could be dealing with family who is that way. And there's this energy that it's very difficult for them to focus on what they're trying to focus on. And so when they think about you, they're doing their best to actually let you go. They might have tried doing cord cutting ceremonies, if they know what that is, or they might have just tried to pack you up in a little box and put you up on the highest shelf in the closet so that they don't think of you. And yet somehow, some way, shape, or form, you're always coming into their mind. And they're getting frustrated right now, and they're getting overwhelmed by how much they're thinking about you, because it creates problems in their work, and it's creating problems in their home life, and it's creating problems across the board for them. And they're doing their best right now to really just say, this is something of the past. We're not, and I feel like for you, pile 1, this person and you, they're not, like, you're not in contact. I do feel like that's coming through. You're very clearly not in contact, and you know, take that as it will. If you are, then that's okay. There still might be messages here for you, but it does feel like for pile 1, many of you are in a no contact situation. And there's this energy that is just, it's very aggressive. They're almost, every time you pop up into their head, they get mad. They get mad that they're thinking about you. They're like, why am I thinking about pile number 1? Pile number 1 is gone from my life. Like, they're not a part of my life anymore. Like, just go away. And they can't make you go away no matter how hard they try. You're always there, just on the outside of their mind. And, you know, where they used to have fond thoughts of you and think about the memories that you shared together, and the times that you guys had together. Now it's just, I just want silence. I just want it to be left alone. And I feel like they're going through a lot of hardships right now because they're trying to deny the feelings that they have for you, rather than realizing that if they just honored the feelings that they had for you, not even necessarily coming forth and sharing those feelings. That's not what honoring our feelings are, right? But if they just honored the fact that, like, wow, you know, I really care about pile number one, I've felt a lot for them, then they would start to ease that constant onslaught of memories and thoughts of you. Right now, they don't even want to, they just want it to go away. And I feel like they're trying to do everything that they can. This is someone who is overextending themselves on all levels because of their thoughts of you. Okay, and so right now there's definitely an anger here. There's definitely an upset every time you come in. But let's see if we can kind of dig beneath the anger and find out what it is that's going on beneath the surface there. So Source, Unspoken Truths, their hidden thoughts about pile number one. What would you like to share with us today? And we're going to get into the nitty gritty. I brought out my original Tarot Marseille deck. So what are their hidden thoughts about pile number one, Source? The unspoken truths that you'd like to share with us today. Okay, thank you. This could be a Sagittarius that we're dealing with, or a Pisces. Or you could be a Sagittarius or Pisces, or have those highly aspect in your chart. What are the unspoken truths? Yeah. They're in a commitment. Okay. Their hidden thoughts about pile number one, Source. What are their hidden thoughts about pile number one? Thank you. The Ace of Cups in the reverse. Disappointment. They're disappointed. They're hurt. And they're brokenhearted when it comes to you. They wish that they had told you the truth about a situation that was in their life, something that they're fully committed to, right? Whether that's a person, a job, a situation, or living in a certain place, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be a third person, but like I said, thoughts of you are getting them in trouble all over. It's across the board. It's like they're daydreaming at work and they're becoming less productive, right? They're constantly have you on their mind when they're at home, or like if they're with a partner, they're thinking about you instead of their partner. Wouldn't surprise me if they've even said your name in the bedroom, okay? Because that's how much they're thinking about you. And right now they're just brokenhearted because they know that there's right now nothing that they can do. There's not, even if they came forward, there's still nothing they could do. They couldn't tell you like, hey, let's be in a relationship, let's start over, let's, you know, wipe the slate clean, because they're committed to something or someone. And there's a lot going on for them internally, and when they think about you, all they can think about is how stupid they feel, or how insignificant they feel, or how not worthy of you that they feel. And then also thinking about like, why didn't I just give pile one a chance when I knew that they liked me, when I found out that they liked me. Yeah, they're really hopeless right now, and they have nothing to offer you. And they don't want to come forward. Yeah, they don't want to come forward. Like, it's like, I don't want to just have physical connection be the only thing that I have to offer pile one. That's not fair. Like, that's not fair. I should be able to be there for them spiritually, emotionally, mentally, but all I have to offer right now is a physical connection because I am not emotionally stable. I'm not in a place where I can give myself, and I haven't done enough reflection here. I'm just very tapped out. This is someone who's incredibly overextended, and I feel like I said that before too. Like, they're just very overextended here. They've given so much of themselves to different areas of their lives that you know, they don't have anything left to give. So I feel like if they are in a partnership, like, they're hearing it from their partner, right? Like, their partner is definitely saying things like, you're not there for me anymore. You don't give love to me anymore. You're not present in our connection anymore. And they're doing their best. It's like but they're getting it from everywhere, right? So they're very much in this place of isolation and loneliness. When thinking about you, they feel lonely. Okay? And they're trying to find some sort of defect with you, like some reason to justify letting you go. Like, oh, well, pile number one, they were in a relationship, or pile number one, they had too much going on and there's nothing that they could give me. Like, they're trying to find a defect with you, but it's not working, because every time they try to find a reason as to why they let you go, or why they didn't invite you in, or why they didn't try to open up to you, it's just not good enough for them. And so if it's not good enough for them, and I'm not laughing because it's just a funny situation to be in, right? Knowing that if it's not even good enough for me to accept, I know pile one is never going to accept it. Because they don't want to tell themselves the truth. They were scared and they ran, and they thought that they could pour into something else or other situations, and that was going to give them what they felt like they were lacking. And so they have a deep hidden and denied desire for you. They're definitely very attracted to you. Okay, they want to be in your life, but this is someone who's not willing to face themselves. Yeah, they have lost a lot of people in their life. They're very alone, and I feel like the person or the people that are around are very... when you're in a crowd of people, you just feel alone. Like, that's where they're at right now. They're in this crowd of people who they thought were real friends that had their back, and all they can do is think about you. And thinking about you all the time has actually disconnected them from the people who are closest to them. And people have left. And are they doing the spiritual work right now? The blockage is you, pile one. And again, that's nothing personal against you. It's just, that's their blockage. They're not being honest with themselves. They can't be honest with themselves. As this is someone who needs someone to blame. So this is an individual, when they do think of you, to put you out of their mind. They're just constantly working, constantly doing things. And so right now we're not getting a clear idea of what it is that they are thinking about you, because this person does not want to be honest. And I know that can be frustrating sometimes, but I feel like this is for purpose, right? Because there's a sense of pining here from you, pile one, for this person, which is understandable, especially if there's a deeper connection here. And I feel like Source doesn't want you to pine for this person right now. They want you to recognize that you also have to focus on your journey, and that's the most important thing throughout all of this, is focusing on your journey. But that can be very difficult at times. But the main thing right now that they can only think about is what it would be like to lay with you, or what it would be like to have a physical relationship with you, and not in the way of stable relationship. This would be like a hit it and quit it player type of situation. That's what they're constantly thinking about, because they're that attracted to you, but they don't want to be honest with themselves that it's deeper than that. They don't want to say this is potential marriage material, that you are potential marriage material, that this is a lifelong relationship. They just don't want to, because this is someone who is hid from commitment their whole lives. They're very afraid of commitment, even though they might have a commitment in their life, which we see here with the Pope. But again, we see that they have a commitment, but that their thoughts of you prevent them from actually being present with that commitment. So their hidden thoughts of you right now are very sexual. They're very sexual. That's, it's like they're with their partner and they're thinking about you. They're thinking about all the things that they want to do to you. They're thinking about what it would be like to be with you. And it's created a lot of rifts along their journey, and it's cost them a lot of what they would consider valuable relationships. But are they really valuable relationships? I mean, if people walk away because you're that disconnected, rather than trying to get to know what's going on with you, is that really a good relationship? Right? It sounds like there's a lot of surface level situations in this person's life, and they're doing their best to maintain that surface level and that very, if I can see it, touch it, taste it, hear it, smell it, feel it, then it's real. But when it comes to pile number one, when I think about pile number one, they get riled up, and so they're doing their best right now, and they think that their life has fallen apart because of you. And where spiritually, there could have been a catalyst situation where you began an awakening for them by coming into their life. Of course, that's a potential, right? Their life isn't falling apart because of you. Their life is falling apart because this is someone who is holding on tooth and nail to an old system that worked for their benefit, that made them feel very emotionally disconnected and happy being in their ego, right? This is player energy. So even if they're in a relationship, this is someone who cheats on their person. And they, you could say, well, thoughts of another person is cheating. I mean, that's going to be different for everybody, okay? Like, we can't control people's thoughts. People have to control their own thoughts. So that's going to be different for everybody, how they feel about that. But the thing is that this is someone who has physically cheated. This is someone who has physically gone out of their way to stay busy trying to fulfill this hole that they feel has been left by you. And in doing so and connecting more and more with the physical, they've disconnected themselves from the spiritual. A refusal to wake up. A refusal to see the truth. So their thoughts of you are filled with anger and hurt and betrayal because they're mad and angry at themselves. But it's easy enough to put it on you because you're not present to, one, defend yourself, right? And two, because you're not present, and that gives them a reason not to blame everyone else or their own actions in their life. So we have the 6th house here, establishing a foundation, health, daily life, and practical details. Yeah, so their health is waning right now. They're going through it physically. They're very, very much in this place of not knowing what to do. And so you feel like this is someone who might have been very on top of their routine for a long time. Like, this could have been someone who worked out every day. And then when thoughts of you took over their mind, right? And especially the sexual thoughts, they stopped working out every day. And it's not that they're not healthy, but they're losing themselves in what the potentials could be with you. Wow, okay. 44 Lantern, consciousness is light. Yeah, they're completely blinded by your beauty, by your good looks, by how you are, how you see things. You're showing them a way that they didn't know was possible, and they're mad about that, right? So that could be what you share on social media. That could be the, wisdom that you've shared with them just by being in their life. And that could just be that they're learning through the grapevine things that you're expressing or doing. I do feel like this is social media, though, for most of you. It's just who you are and what you're sharing on social media. And you're being a light, you're being love, and you're being kind to others. And they're mad because they don't want to see life that way. Because if they saw life that way, they would have to let go of the foundation. And so that's what they're thinking. It's like, why is pile number one trying to get me to see life the way that they see it? But, last time I checked, you weren't holding, and not to be ruthless here, but you're not holding a weapon to their head, It's not like you weren't forcing anybody to do anything. You're just sharing yourself. But they're upset about it. Okay, for some reason you're getting 3 of these, so we're going to say we've got Advocate on the bottom. Inspires you to put compassion into action. That's what you're doing. The light or the shadow is embracing negative causes or committing causes for personal gain. And I feel like that's what they've done for their whole lives, is they've tried to gain something out of dealing with people. And again, we can look at that as like, wow, this is a really bad person. And it's not. It's just that they've always tried to stay on top of things. I feel like them being vulnerable is impossible. They don't like that feeling. They don't like that feeling of lack of control. And they're very dismissive of people because someone in their childhood, potentially a father or a grandfather here, was very dismissive of them. And they learned that this is the way we treat others. We're just dismissive. If we love them, we must dismiss them, and they'll figure it out on their own, or they'll do the same to us. And for you, I feel like it wasn't about dismissing them as much as it was walking away. You had to walk away because this was just a very unique situation where it's like, I just can't put up with this anymore. And so, again, you know, like, I wish they were thinking more about you, Pile 1, that I could share with you, but it's really just one thing that they're thinking about, and that's the physical aspect, because they're refusing to let themselves think about other things, like how incredible you are, how smart you are, how unique you are. It's just all of those things are leading to thoughts of sexual desire. A balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. So you're coming into this balanced state, you are, but they're judging you for that, right? They're judging you because you're in a balanced state. Just sometimes people, like, the way they don't want to take accountability for themselves and how they blame other people, right? Exposed flying out here. I mean, look at this. Too open, in the danger of heartbreak, right? So when it comes to you, their thoughts are, I'm exposed, because they recognize that you see them to their core. So they're doing their best to shield their heart right now, and that's why not a lot is coming through. And for them to shield their heart, I feel like what this person has always done to shield their heart is to be the playboy or the playgirl, depending on how you look at it, right? Just a player. This is someone who's the player. Okay, they very much are dependent on their sexual energy in order to not feel. The more I can just move in and move out without being attached, the better I am. But they're realizing they want something more than that, and when that feeling arises, especially thinking about you, they feel like that's dangerous, and so they immediately go to sexualizing your relationship because that's all they know. They don't want to feel exposed like that. Look, I can't make this up. We have two-faced. Playing with your emotions is insincere and not who you think. Yeah, they're, again, playing with your emotions, and this is what they do. They're just not sincere in the way that they approach others. They're not. And so they didn't want to be sincere when they were approaching you, and that's what they're constantly thinking about, is how can I protect myself? They did not realize they were going to be hit with your magnetic energy. They did not, okay? And so they played a part when they were with you the first time. They played a part, and they're able to get people to fall for them because they know how to be the player. Okay, this is someone who knows how to get people to desire them very quickly. What they never imagined was that they were going to desire you as well, in more than just a physical aspect. But for them, that's something that I can't allow myself to think about. I can't allow myself to imagine. So they go back to that, like, as soon as they think about, oh, like, wow, I could really love pile number one, and they're like, no, I would only love to throw them up against the wall and be dirty with them and have them talk dirty to me and this, that. Like, it's like the minute that those stable thoughts come in about potentially building something together, they immediately replace it with X-rated images. We had family coming out here. Generations, children, ancestors, and origin. So this could be that they have a family with someone as well, and they believe that, you know, they don't want to share that with you. Like, they don't want you to know about that because it makes them feel exposed, but it also makes them feel like, why didn't I just wait? Why didn't I just wait to have this family? We have addiction, yeah, toxic attachment, drugs, alcohol, obsession, sex, right? So again, they're very addicted. They don't take care of their family the way that they should. I feel like this is someone who's very good at earning money and very bad at being present emotionally with their family. I'm gonna get one more of these. Yeah, divine timing, wrong timing, stalemate, perfect timing, and waiting. Yeah, so I feel like there's a stalemate with you and this person, and you see the clock, how it's like withering away. Yeah, there's just, right now, it's just not meant to be. And I know that's not what everybody wants to hear, but unfortunately, I mean, do you really want to be with someone who's going to treat you like an object? Because that's all this person is capable of at this moment. They're only capable of treating people like objects because they don't see people as human beings with emotions. They see people as a potential danger. No matter how deep their emotions go, they still see you as a potential danger. Home, comfort, safety, belonging, and shelter. Yeah, they don't know what it is to feel safe. They don't know what that is. They've never felt that. And so they don't feel safe when they're thinking about you. They feel exposed. They feel vulnerable. They feel hurt. Okay, and we have keep an open mind coming out. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectation. Okay, so it may not be the person that you're expecting. And I feel like that's hard too, because if we've told ourselves this is who we want, this is who we want in our lives, this is the person for me, right? It's hard for us to let that go at times. We've expressed your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture, but they're not going to do this. That's what this feels like. They're just not. But they're very attracted to you, right? You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. They're very attracted to you. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. It's not that you're not a good match for them. Just energetically, they're not in a space where they can receive that love, right? You deserve to be with someone who can receive your love. But this is not that person. They're not capable of receiving that love right now. They're very hurt from the past. Okay, on the bottom, self-worth and expectations. This is what I was saying, like, you know, well, I expected to be this person, but your self-worth should outweigh any expectations that you have. Okay, like, no matter what, your self-worth should outweigh those expectations. So we have storm and unexpected. That's what I felt earlier. I feel like there was an unexpected absence between you two, or there was something that happened where there was no closure. And so they're thinking about that too, and they're thinking about how quick it happened, and that makes them upset too. And so there's a lot of turmoil that this person is going through when they think about you. It's not even just one particular thing. It's just like your name could be said in a movie somewhere, and they just immediately get angry and they take it out on their partner, right? Fire. Yeah, there's a lot of anger here. We have Aries, Leo, and Sag. Confidence, optimism, passion, and bravery with this energy here. But I'm also getting that anger. You know, it's like they burn others because they feel burned. Yeah, repair. I'm not surprised this came up. Making amends rather than fun times reveals a relationship's true constitution. Right? You see this, like, they're both here building this quilt together. It's like, to make something last, we have to be able to repair what's broken. And they don't want to repair what's broken, because to repair what's broken would mean that they would have to take accountability for the part that they also played in this. And they think that they don't have to. They don't think that that's something that they have to even deem necessary for you guys to come together. It's more about, I'm going to blame pile number one because it's pile number one's fault. Presence of absence. Hold what is absent in the presence of your love. And that's the thing. It's like, I feel like this is you. I feel like, look, you have this woman and her husband's pictures on the wall, and she has her children and her grandchildren here on the pictures on the table. And it's like, she's longing for something that's not there. And that's what I feel like you're in this position of, where you're longing for them, but they're not there. And it's like continuing to long for them instead of honoring that we had these memories together, and we can cherish those memories, but you still need to live your life, and that's difficult to do when you have so much emotion for someone. So we have Queen, radiates the regal feminine, uses benevolent authority to protect others, and the shadows, becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling and demanding. So we see right now, right, you're in this very benevolent energy, but they're in this very controlling energy. Vampire, they're an energy vampire at this time, making you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. The shadows, depleting others for physical survival, chronic complaining and codependency. And didn't I say that at the beginning? They're in some sort of codependent relationship. Well, they're aggravating this codependent relationship just as much as the other person is. Gambler. Willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you, and the shadows, relying on luck rather than hard work. And that's just it. I feel like they thought they were just going to get lucky, like, oh, they deserved to get lucky here, and that you would never leave them like that because of that connection. But at the end of the day, you had to take care of yourself. And so they really believed at some point that you were just going to blindly come back to them and give them everything that they wanted, no matter how they treated you. That's, you know what? No. Doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. Right now, I feel like that's a perfect affirmation for you, Pile 1. I release the need to know all the answers. This person is definitely doubting the actions that they played in that, and they doubt that they're ever going to love somebody as much as you, and that may be true. But right now, they're going to have to heal. They need to deal with their own dark side. It says your dark side keeps you from enjoying the love you have. Don't let it steal your joy. Yeah, they were in their shadow. This person's still in their shadow, especially with Vampire coming out. Text message, communication, direct phone or news, phone call, direct message. So they might reach out to you soon. Look, none of us as tarot readers should ever tell you what to do. Okay? I will say this. Please pay attention to your intuition and not the emotional ego of desire. Okay? What is your intuition telling you? Focus on that. Not on what you expect things to be, but what feels right for you. And whatever that is, please do that for you. Okay? Because it is going to be different for everyone. I'm not going to say don't reach out to this person. I'm not going to say don't contact them. Say nothing. Be quiet. Because everybody's situation is different. But I am going to encourage you to listen to your heart. And not your desire. Because your desire can overtake, and it can create a lot of dissonance between you and your intuition. Okay? Wow. So there we go. I said it at the beginning. I was talking about labeled relationships. You know, it's before we even look at this last card, I just want to spend a little bit of time on this card. You know, the problem with the twin flame community is that they've convinced many of the twin flames that it's all about the physical connection. That if you don't have a physical connection, that something is highly wrong with you. That you're the one that didn't do enough healing. That, you know what, you're going through this, that, and the other. Look, I've spent plenty of time with Source and understanding twin flames, and everybody's journey is different. I will say that first. But the channels that I have received about twin flames is that they're there to awaken us spiritually, and we're there to awaken them spiritually. And if we take our eyes off of the physical connection, we actually benefit even more from this connection, because we get to experience this divine love of Source. We're not attached to it having to be them. But the twin flame communities right now are so bent on making sure that everybody is chasing the relationship. Well, what happens if that relationship were never to happen in this lifetime? I heard someone say, that's not true. Why would we manifest? That's not true. Why would we come together? That's not true. Look, only a fool thinks they know everything. That's why I asked these questions. That was the same question that was asked of me. What happens if you and your labeled relationship never manifest a physical relationship? And I did all the same things. I was like, well, but everybody says this, and everybody says it's supposed to be this, and everybody says that. And I remember Source came in and said, but not everybody knows my will. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. It wasn't mean. It wasn't vicious. It wasn't supposed to be mean or vicious. It was just a moment where it was a realization that that's right. We're human. And we're being led by other humans. And yes, there are many humans that have a divine connection. But it doesn't mean that people aren't out to benefit themselves as well. Right? So we have to remember that as we're moving along. That's why it's so important to tap into ourselves. I'm not saying that you're never going to have a relationship with this person. That's not my place to say. Only Source knows where your journey is leading you. I don't. But the guidance that's coming out in this reading is very clear, is that this person is not in a position to raise up to your vibrational level right now. You've spent so much time healing. Why throw that healing away because of a label that ultimately is something that humans created? Even if it was given to us by the divine, it's still something that we created. And we're all creating ideas that back this, and it's turned into this massive egregore that has turned into its own monster now. Instead of us reminding ourselves that this journey, if it is a twin flame journey, truly, if you are a twin flame, it will never be about the relationship. It will only ever be about you and the connection of the divine. And I felt that at the beginning, but I didn't want to say anything because that's why I say it's a labeled relationship. You know what your label is. I don't, right? But this is clear for this reading that this is a potential twin flame connection. We have party and external. There's too many external factors playing a part in this. Okay, there's just too many external factors here. This person is chasing people. Okay, we've got 3 women on the card. So I do feel like this could be a divine masculine. It doesn't matter if your divine masculine is a man or woman, non-binary. None of that matters, okay? None of that matters. This person is chasing divine feminines that they feel are going to replace your energy in their life. And what they're being met with are very shallow people who cannot hold a candle to your light. Of course, they'll never hold a candle to your light. Why? Because you two are in a resonance on a soul level. But on a physical plane level, no, not right now. Not right now. Just not in resonance. It doesn't. The soul at this point has nothing to do with where they're at, because this is someone who's disconnected themselves from their soul. Okay, and they're in a state of separation right now. They're really believing in separation. Okay, and so right now their soul is taking a step back and is letting life play out the way that life is playing out. And this person's like, oh my God, my life is falling apart because of Pile 1. It's all of Pile 1's fault. Why did Pile 1 ever come into my life? Like, what the heck did I do to them? And it's not you. It's because your souls pulled apart and said, look, okay, cool, go ahead and live in the 3D and believe in the 3D and believe in all the illusions. Let's see how far that gets you. Right? And some people never want to disconnect from that because they hold on to it tooth and nail. But that's where this person is right now. And that's why the thoughts of you right now are very sexual or very angry. Because think about it. Mars energy, the god of war, he's also the god of sex, right? And the god of anger. Think about that, right? And that's very Aryan energy here. When Aries is in their shadow, there's just a very aggressive energy from both of those. It's not about passion. It's not about leadership. It's not about finding direct action. It's about 2 things. Satisfaction. If I punch this person in the face, I'm satisfied. If I get my nuts off, I'm satisfied, right? And I'm not trying to be crude here or anything like that, but it's just that's the energy that this person's in. Okay, so it wouldn't surprise me if this is a man, okay, and I'm just going to be a separation here. If this is a man who has spread his seed wide and far, okay, because this is someone who is just in that type of energy right now. And if it's not, if it's a woman or whatever, this is someone who probably, they're sleeping around a lot right now. That's all they want. Even if they are committed, they're sleeping around because they're not getting what they want, which is you, but they don't want to label it as you. Even their thoughts, right? We're not looking at a subconscious level. We're looking at what their thoughts, their daily thoughts are. And they're going down this rabbit hole. And it's like whenever your name comes up, they get mad. Whenever they're thinking about you, they're mad. They're just, And then they're like, oh my gosh, when they're having sex, they're thinking about you. And they're like, why am I thinking about Pile 1? But, I would totally do this to Pile number 1. You know, they just can't make up their minds right now. And that's, let them relish in that because they need to. They need to realize that you're not at fault for this because you're not. You never were. And your life fell apart when you met them too. So you dealt with it. You faced it head on. You're like, cool, bring it, you know? The difference between someone who's ready to follow their intuition and someone who's only holding on to the physical world. It's a trip. Wow. Okay, so we've got number 9 here. Slow down. Pause and allow things to unfold. So I do feel like this person is getting to the point where they can't hold out anymore. They're going to reach out to you, but that's why Source is saying slow down, because it can get really exciting, especially if you have been no contact for a long time. Like, oh my gosh, they're reaching out to me. Like, oh my gosh, like, let me just like word vomit on them because I have all these things to tell them. And Source is just saying, like, take a step back. Let them show you where they're at energetically. Okay, like, that's the most important thing. You've already done so much healing. You don't need to repeat cycles just because they're going through their healing process right now, okay? So it says everything in your life is in divine order, okay? There is no need to rush nor hurry. In your excitement, you may overlook the importance of enjoying the creative process. Getting to the goal is half the fun. You might also miss guidance and messages when you don't allow things to unfold naturally. Regroup and release the need to race to whatever you feel you need to be. Slowing down will allow you to appreciate what is in front of you. Embrace the moment. There is nowhere you need to be that will not be there later. Recognize the importance of making time to take pleasure in your journey. Slowing down will help you be more aware of what is going on for you. Find a quiet place to sit and gift yourself this opportunity to be in nature without any interruptions. This may mean disconnecting from your cellular device. Observe what is going on for you spiritually. Listen to your thoughts and identify your feelings. It says the maze may reflect the complexity of your thoughts and confusion over where to go next. A pair of candles stand above, illuminating and protecting the woman. The candles depict the archangels, and flames symbolize the energy of Archangel Michael and Archangel of Protection, the Archangel of Protection. Know you have help as you make some special time to reflect and gain guidance. So this, and isn't it interesting here that on this slow down, it's this woman, and we think of the divine feminine when we see women, right? And it doesn't matter. You can be non-binary, be a man, or whatever you identify with. None of that matters, okay? None of that matters, but we see it's the divine feminine they're asking to slow down. So if you identify with divine feminine energy, right, they're saying slow down. Because you see here, she's imagining being with her love. She's imagining creating a life with her love. But that's distracting you from the journey that's standing in front of you, and that's what they're saying here. So slow down, pause, allow things to unfold, and come back to your inner intuition and sight, and knowing that when you listen to that, you'll know exactly what to do, even in a situation like this that feels so overwhelming and like you don't have a say, but you absolutely do have a say in this, okay? And it's so important for you to choose yourself. So I hope this resonated with you, and I hope this gave you some clarity as well. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. If you felt like this was your message, leave the flame emoji and the time watch down below and say, I trust in the power of Source, Spirit, God, whatever you believe in, leading me towards the path of my ultimate love, the full manifestation of myself as unconditional love in this here now here moment. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, please check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very difficult, very powerful message. And with that, until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful piece of garnet, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be a reading on Unspoken Truths. They're hidden thoughts about you. I want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of the journey with me. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And if you're new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. We do things completely differently here on this channel, so with that in mind, if the message happens to resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. Now, before we do get into this, I did mention on pile 1 as well that we're going to be getting into their thoughts, okay? So whatever comes out, remember that this is not the truth of who you are, okay? The good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, this is where this person is at, and to leave that with them. Don't take that on and as like some personal vendetta or personal plight against you. This is not, we're not trying to project this onto you or anything. We're just trying to find out what their secret thoughts are, their hidden thoughts are of you, okay? It's only meant for entertainment, so remember that as we move forward. I just feel like I need to say that. And I did have a channel message before I was getting ready for your pile. This person does think a lot about you. They wonder what it would be like to build a family with you. And they see happiness in you, but they also feel like there's a huge downfall, like you might break their heart or they might break your heart. And so instead of stepping forward to say something right now, they are watching and spying on you on social media or asking friends and family about you, people that you know together. Like they're definitely trying to get as much information as they can from you, about you at this time. So let's find out, Source. What are the unspoken truths, their hidden thoughts about pile number 2? Source, what are their hidden thoughts about pile number 2? What unspoken truths would you like to share with us today? Yeah, the 7th house. Okay, we've got Taurus energy and Jupiter. Yeah, that's that's that feeling I was getting. Like they do see a relationship with you. Like they do see potential building a family here, having a stable relationship with you. And it being lucky, and they think that together the two of you would be incredibly abundant and that you would go far in life and experience things that neither one of you experienced, but get to experience and share them together. There's a bit of a resistance here, and there's slow energy here with Taurus, like slow moving. This is not someone who's just going to rush in and be like, hey, guess what, pile number 2? I've been thinking about you. I can't stop thinking about this. This is someone who, when they choose to, if they choose to come in, right? And when they choose to come in, that they're going to move things slowly. They're going to start off by chatting with you and building that connection slowly, which is good, right? You want a solid foundation. But when they think of you, they think nothing but good thoughts about you. They really do feel like the two of you would have success in love together, that you would be able to spend a lifetime together, and that it would be very fruitful and beneficial. It's pretty straightforward, and it totally mirrors the channel message I was getting. So again, I feel like that's why they've been watching you too. It's like, because you inspire them, and you might be sharing messages on Facebook or on YouTube or on Instagram or on TikTok or Snapchat or whatever it is. You might be sharing messages on there, and they're someone that reads everything that you post. Like they check out everything that you post. They just see a light in you, and they love that, and they think that they could help you become something more, and that you would help them become something more. And it's not about forcing each other to become something that you're not. It's literally about becoming the most aligned versions of yourself, and that's what they think about all the time. They think that you're always helping them to become a better version of themselves. So let's see what comes through here, Source. What are their hidden thoughts about pile number 1? What would you like to share with us? The unspoken truths. What are their hidden thoughts about pile number 1? I'm sorry, pile number 2. My apologies. Pile number 2, Source. What are their hidden thoughts about pile number 2? Okay, thank you. What are their hidden thoughts about pile number 2? Yeah, they see you as someone who leads people and helps people and is capable of changing the world, whether you feel that way or you don't. Like, that's what they see. And I think that, like, being connected with you would help them experience the world from a bigger perspective than they've ever been able to see before or experience, witness. For pile number 2, what are their hidden thoughts about pile number 2, source? Okay, thank you. On the bottom, interesting, we have the Ace of Coins in the reverse. Okay, so they are a little bit jealous. We're just going to put that out there, because the Ace of Coins in reverse is like greed, right? Like, oh, they feel like you're theirs and theirs alone. And if they got you, that's how they would be. And I'm not saying in an aggressive way or anything like that, or like an overbearing way, but they are very possessive of the things that they have. And, you know, like this is someone who might get jealous of the fact that you're reaching out to people around the world, or that you're connecting with people from all over, because that's who you are, and they're inspired by it, but they also feel a little intimidated by that as well. And so they think, like, how can I build myself up so that I could really support pile number 2, right? Yeah, Ace of, wow. And this just comes from a broken heart in the past. Like, they know that you are so strong, and they know that you wouldn't hurt them like that, but they think that their broken heart from the past is going to prevent them from being able to be this substantial rock in your life. 9 of Wands. Wow, a lot of Wands energy. We've got the 3 of Wands, and we've got the 6 of Coins. Yeah. Oh, it's a really sweet energy here. It really is. They've had to start over. There's something here that ended for them, and they've had to start over, and it was really heartbreaking and hurtful and painful. And when they think about you, they think about what a new beginning would be like with you. They think about what it would be like to experience taking different paths, and not different from each other, but different paths in life, like having the options, right? And making those decisions together, and where that would lead the two of you. And the main thing is here, with especially the 6 of Coins, like, they want to be able to build a connection that is on equal standing, right? They don't want someone to give more than the other, because they've been in a connection like that where they gave much more than the other person that they were with, and that's why they're starting over again, right? And it's hurtful and it's heartbreaking for them, and they're very possessive of the people they love. Like, they're very clear about the people they love, and they're very, yeah, they've been brokenhearted though. Wow. But they feel like the two of you, if you built a friendship first with the 10 of Wands here, they feel like if you built a friendship first, that would set the tone for how things would move forward. And so they're working on building up the courage to come forward to just start a friendship. To start a friendship and be like, you know, can we just be friends? Like, I'm not ready to be in a relationship. I would just love to be your friend. I would love to pick your brain. I would love to know more about you, and I want you to know more about me. And so they think about this all the time, and they think about the best way to come to you. And I do feel like this is something that's going to happen soon. And you might start seeing a lot of 9s all of a sudden, like 999. Like, you maybe had never seen 9s before, or it's like one that would show up every once in a while. But I feel like when this person's ready to come in, you're going to start seeing 999 a lot, because it's going to be moving into that 10 cycle where it's like the fruit of your efforts, right? You're going to be able to reap your rewards. And that's something that this person is they're very beautiful energy. They're very grounded, and they've done a lot of work on themselves. This is someone who might not necessarily be very spiritual, though. Not in the sense of, like, they're not going to stand by you in your spiritual endeavors or anything like that. And you might inspire them to dig into spirituality as well. I just feel like this person's very passionate about life, what it means to live, and they see that you are living life, and you are living it from a place of authenticity. And so it's not about what you believe in or have faith in for them. It's about what you're doing right now with the moment that you're given. And it wouldn't surprise me if pile 2, you were someone who did a lot of maybe like volunteer work, or you were trying to figure out how to help the underprivileged, or like people who are undereducated, even like helping children who don't have stable homes. There's a lot of helping people who need help here, right? And it's not necessarily about healing people. This is literally about extending yourself. And like, if you traveled to different countries where there were, tribes that didn't have running water and help set up water, like Habitat for Humanity is coming through as well, or like some type of mission work in that regard. This person is just in love with that part of you. They think about how much you've impacted the world. And if you're not doing that, but that's something that you're thinking about, maybe you vocalized that at some point and that person heard about it and it inspires them to. I keep seeing the world energy here. World, like I want to travel the world with pile number 2. I want to see the world. I want to see what it is to help people and inspire others to become stronger for themselves and capable for themselves and not have to rely on really shoddy systems that are built up to keep the little man little, right? It would help create a system where we can build each other up. And that's what they are thinking when they think about you. You inspire them to see a much bigger chunk of the world. It's not just about what they've experienced. And for a long time, maybe it was, right? Especially with the Nine of Wands here. For them, it was about what they had experienced. But when they think about you, they think about how much you are very worldly and well-rounded as a person and how much you care about people. Not just a few people, but how you care about humans as a whole. And that inspires them to be more open to seeing the world through eyes of kindness and compassion that before they had a hard time seeing because of this broken heart. When they think about you, it gives them a lot of strength to face their own internal misgivings and their own discrepancies with their own spirit. And they recognize that I want to do something like that too. I want to help others. I want to build something like that with others. And they really want to build that with you. And so that's what they are thinking about, is what it would be like to build something with that. And you chose the garnet. Oh, excuse me. Wow, that came out of nowhere. A yawn of confirmation. You chose the garnet, and garnet is a very grounding, protective stone. So they're very protective over you as well. So if they hear people saying anything negative about you, like, this is someone who has a name for standing up for you, even though you're not necessarily a part of each other's lives. Or maybe you are. Maybe this is a husband or a wife or a partner. Maybe you guys are already together. It doesn't feel like no contact here, but it could for some. It could mean for some of you this is a no contact situation. But this is someone who really, really, like, if someone says something negative about you, they're the first one to say, you don't have any place or any right to say anything about pile number 2, because you don't know them like that. You think you know them, but you don't know them like that. So don't say nothing about them. Like, they come to your aid. And I feel like sometimes maybe you don't know that they're coming to your aid. And so you help them overcome this disappointment that they've been through in life. You help them overcome wanting to only focus on the material aspect of life and seeing a bigger world. Seeing it beyond the money, seeing it beyond the possessions, seeing it beyond the bankroll, right? In the pocket, and the Jordans, and the Dolce & Gabbana, and the having the nicest watch in the room, and the biggest TV. You've helped them see beyond that. And I don't think that they realized that there was more to life than chasing money until they met you. So they're always thinking about ways, interesting ways, how maybe they can impress you some more. And it's not that they're trying to change who they are. It's that they want to change. They want to change because you inspire them to change. Oh, it's so sweet. That's such a sweet energy. It really is. Oh, let's get some oracles out, because I feel like it's pretty straightforward. Virgo, yeah, they really do. They feel like you're such a pure energy in their life. Integrity, reverence, and service. They hold you in reverence. That's what I just heard. And of service, right? Of service. Virgo is definitely the one that serves humanity. Like, they'll go out, and so does Aquarians. You know, I'm not trying to rule out Aquarius either, but Virgos and Aquarians, those are the two zodiac signs that out of the zodiac are known for just being about helping others and being of service to others. And so you could be a Virgo or an Aquarius. They could be a Virgo or an Aquarius energy. No! Oh my gosh! What? I didn't even know this was on the bottom of the deck! I can't. What happened right now? That stuff just leaves me speechless all the time. Just can't. What? You know, I just want to, this is totally off topic, but I just have to say, you know, you got a gift, right? You get a gift and you start using your gift, and it's like, it still leaves you speechless when you're like, if you're great at painting and you finish a painting and you sit there and you just revel in your painting, you're like, wow, I'm such a great painter. You know, and it's nothing to be arrogant about, but that's like still how I feel about this gift that Source shares through me, because it's not me, and you know that, right? Like, if you have any kind of type of art that you do or anything creative that you do, you know that it's divine connection through you, and it just, wow, you know? Wow. Okay, so we have Aquarius energy here, and we have originality, philanthropy, and progressive imaginings. This is too much. I'm like so flabbergasted right now. That was so crazy. That was so crazy. Okay, so Source. Wow. So you could be an Aquarius, they could be a Virgo, you could be a Virgo, they could be Aquarius, or have any of that highly aspect in your chart. They could have that highly aspect in their chart. That was just a trip. What else would you like to tell pile number 2, Source? So yeah, they definitely think about serving people. Like, that's such a confirmation that they see you serving people, and they think about wanting to do that for themselves too. Maybe have never had an opportunity to think about if that was something they potentially wanted for themselves, because everybody was telling them to chase the money, to chase the physical. Enough. You were born enough. That's the other thing when they think about you, like, you're everything that they've ever wanted. In some way, shape, or form, you inspire them to feel that way about themselves. So they think that about themselves, like, I am enough, and they feel like they're enough to come towards you. They wouldn't have thought that otherwise, but you help them expand their mindset, and you help them expand their perception of themselves to accept and love and admire themselves as much as they accept and love and admire you. And so they feel like, now I feel enough, like I can come forward and go towards pile number 2, because I know I'm enough, and I know that I have a right to say something here and to approach pile number 2. Like, they're not out of my league, right? We have engineer energy coming out here, ability to create, to give creative energy a practical expression, talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. And the shadow is reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. And that's what I was saying, like, they want to build something with you that helps other people, right? Like, dilemmas all over the world. Like, if there's places all over the world that don't have running water, how can we create a system to bring those places running water? How can we create a system so that those places are connected, so that if a disaster happens, they're able to get help? Like, they're thinking about these things that they wouldn't have otherwise thought about if it weren't for you. Oh, look at this. We have God energy coming out, light attributes, benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. This is what they think of you. You are the brilliance of God, Goddess, Source, Spirit, the universe, the cosmos, whatever. Okay, they see this as you. The shadow is despotism and cruelty and using power to control people. Okay, so for them, because of how much you give yourself and you recognize yourself within others, that has inspired them to start seeing others, like seeing themselves in others and seeing others within themselves. And they wouldn't have otherwise done that. That's not something that they would have just naturally come to on their own. You helped inspire that for them. And I feel like that's something that they're going to be forever grateful about, for having you in their life. Health. And Virgo energy is connected with their health too, right? I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. So now they take their health seriously, and it's not about being fit, or it's not about being muscular or ripped or shredded or anything like that, right? It's not about even being snatched or any of that. It's just about my health. Like, what am I putting into my body? Because that matters. All right, and I feel like they're not seeing physical features when they think about you. They're seeing your soul. Their soul talks to your soul, and your soul talks to their soul, and it affects them on a much deeper level. And I feel like that's another thing. Maybe the two of you want to bring health around the world. I do want to get a shadow aspect. I got a shadow aspect for pile number 1, so we'll go ahead and get one for you too. Is there a shadow aspect that would like to come out for this reading, source? Thank you. On the bottom, complicated. So we have lots of twists and turns, a naughty situation, and precarious. So I feel like this is the energy that they were in, or that they are in if they're not with you, right? There's a lot of complicated energy going around them right now, and there's a lot of twists and turns. And they're trying to figure out the best way out of this situation, right? Finding a solution here, a resolution that's going to give them a clean getaway. And maybe not a clean getaway. Not everybody gets a clean getaway. But it's going to give them a way to let go of a situation. Wow, we have wedding, marriage, forever the one, and union. So what do they think about? Well, they think that you're the one. Right? They think that you're the one. Like, you're the one for them. And I feel like many of you could be together with this person already. And if you're not, that's okay. Like, they want to take it to the next level. They want to ask you into their life. They want to ask you to marry them. Like, this is somebody who wants to go to the next level with you, okay? Well, when they think about you, they think about you being their person. You're the one for them, right? I'll be the one. Dun, 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 dun. What is that, a Backstreet Boys song? I'll be alright. I don't remember how it goes. I think that's Backstreet Boys the one, but that's coming in right now too. That could be somebody's song they listen to when they think about you, or that could be a wedding song that you guys shared. Do people share Backstreet Boys songs at the weddings? I don't know. I was totally a BSB girl, and it's sad that I can't remember the lyrics to that song right now, but I guess I'm not meant to, so. Wow, this came out in pile 1 too. Interesting. Divine timing, wrong timing, stalemate, perfect timing, and waiting. Yeah, so I do feel like right now the stars are aligning for you and for them, and that's what's they're waiting for things to come into alignment so that they can come forward for you and with you. Guarded and vulnerability, renewal and spark. Okay, what else would you like? Wow, okay, that's enough, source. Self-love, creation, and intentions. Stability, harmony, and flow on the bottom. Yeah, this is somebody who sees this type of relationship with you. It's stable, it's harmonious, it's flowing. Like, they're always going with the flow. That's on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so this one we'll put here. And I think this one came out first, then this one. So we'll go like this, and then this one came out and was still over. Okay, so we've guarded and vulnerability. Like, when they think about you, they see someone who is vulnerable, even though you might still be a little guarded, but you're vulnerable, and that is something that they admire about you a lot. We have spark and renewal. There's something that you did recently that renewed the spark, how they felt about you, and they can't let that go. They can't leave it alone. Self-love, creation, and intentions. And they think about how sexy and how attractive it is that you love yourself. They really, really love that. Detachment and cold. So this could be someone who's a little detached right now or acting a little bit cold. But it's because they're trying to gather up the courage to do whatever is next for you guys on the journey. Whether that's coming into contact with you, right? Reaching out to you. Or if that's asking you to be there, go steady. That's so cute. To go steady with them. Or to ask you to be in a monogamous relationship with them, or to ask you to marry them or move in, or whatever it is, right? I do feel like they might be a little detached right now, but it's not because they're They don't want to be with you. It's not because they don't see you as love, right? It's like because they're trying to figure out the next step for themselves. So they're really trying to get themselves in order. We have honeymoon coming out here. Enjoy the bliss of holiday together. So with wedding and honeymoon, they could be planning a honeymoon and a wedding for you. Like getting a ring and stuff, okay? And that's only going to resonate with a few people, but that's something that's coming in. All right, on the bottom, free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. Yeah, so I feel like they're freeing themselves from something here, okay? What did I say? They're trying to get away, a clean break from something here, and that might be why they're detached, or they're a little bit cold right now. They're going through something that they'll share with you when they're ready to share it, but right now they're trying to figure out how to do it in a way that's not involving you or burdening you with what's happening with them. Transitions. Wow, look at this card. It's so intense. It says, you have all the inner resources you need to cross whatever bridges arise on your path. Yeah, so they're right now in this place of a transition. Okay, they're crossing bridges and they think about you being on the other side of the bridge for them. This is a completion for them. And they know that you're going to be there on the other side of the bridge for them. And it's not about that you were waiting. It's just that you're the fuel for them to move through their life. Pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. I love this confirmation. Didn't I say that? Like you taught them how to see themselves in others and to see others in themselves. What? I love that. Pile 2. Thank you. Thank you for letting me connect with you like this. Just wow. Wow. I'll never not be speechless because of Source. Just so cool. Okay, so we've got the Joker coming out. It's all just a game to them, insincere, and just having fun. The shadow aspect, this is the type of energy that they dealt with in the past, with the Ace of Coins and the Ace of Cups on the bottom in reverse. They've had a lot of people been super insincere, and you're not. You're this sincere person. And so for a while, this could be if they're not in contact with you, but it could be before they contacted you as well. This is something they had to deal with. They had to face within themselves and realize, like, you're this real person and you are sincere and you stand up for yourself and you pride yourself on your word and being honest and having integrity. And so the shadow aspect that they've been facing right now has been, or in the past, the complicated situation was facing people who are jokers. And that could be something that they're dealing with as well right now, is getting rid of the jokers in their life, right? Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Stuck in the middle with you. Yeah, I don't know who sings that song, but that's coming out. I'm also seeing Reservoir Dogs. That movie is coming in, so I don't know. That might mean something to someone. It's kind of random. We're just going to go with it. We've got Mask. Hidden motive, concealed, disguise, and lying. This is the type of energy they've been dealing with. A lot of people wearing masks around them. They're trying to get rid of the jokers in their life. Okay, that's what they're doing right now. Third parties, okay? We have interference, cheating, competition, and mistress. So there's a lot of third-party situations that they're letting go of right now. This could be someone who, before they met you, they could have been pretty promiscuous, right? And not for dangerous reasons, but just because it's like, why am I going to connect with somebody on that level? Because it doesn't feel like I'm ever going to find that person. And then they found you, or you found them, and it renewed that spark of love within them. And so now they have to really focus on letting go of situations in their life that they know aren't going to be good for both of you. And they know that they're not going to be good if they want to bring you into their life, right? Which I do feel like they do. Okay, we've got music, musician, snake charmer, and harmony and melodic. So this person could be involved in music, or they really like music, okay, or they share songs with you as well. I do feel like there's this energy where they may have shared some, like I got that, right? I was singing that song, I'll be the one who'll make all your sorrows all right. I'll be the light if you want to. I don't remember the words. I can't remember the words right now. Anyways, yeah. I'll be the one, and then we got the jokers to the left of me, clowns to the right. What is that? Stuck in the middle? I don't know the name of that song. If you guys know the name of that song, please comment it down below. That totally helps out other pile twos, and it just reminds you you're not alone. So thank you for those of you that do that. It really does help. But I do feel like there's this energy where they're very much involved with the music industry, or they do something with music, okay? Right now, they're getting rid of a lot of jokers in their life. And when they think about you, that's the fuel to help them put down the masks and let go of people who aren't healthy for them. Receive and open. Yeah, they're ready to receive this love that you have to give, the sincerity that's there. But they're balancing out some karma right now, right? And bringing justice into their life. So this is the balancing out. They could be a Libra. You could be a Libra too. Okay, there might also be some legal situations that have to go on, especially if they're in the music industry. There might be a dissolution of a partnership that's happening. Retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. Yeah. Look, and she's in a wedding dress, and he's in a tux. This could be a mother, or a dad, and a daughter, and he's walking her to her wedding. I don't know why I'm getting that energy right now, but I do feel like this is someone who sees you as, that's it, like you're their person, you're their marriage material. Romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. Yeah, they definitely have romantic feelings for you. They think about you, and it gives them all kinds of butterflies. This is someone who wants to experience all that life has to offer with you, and that's what they think about. What would it be like to build a life with pile 2? Didn't I get that channeled message at the very beginning too? Oh my gosh, so synchronistic, your pile. I love it. Okay. Getting to know each other. And didn't I say they were going to take things slow? This like super slow energy. Yeah. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. Yeah. This is someone who's going to come in, and if they haven't already, this could be somebody that's already in your life. Like you could have already experienced all of this as well. Remember, everybody's at different places on their journey, but I do feel like this is a slow burn. Okay. This is a slow burn, but it's worth it. This is something that is so worth it. And they really want to build that together with you, because they've only dealt with heartbreak and hurt, and they've healed a lot from that. And they're learning that there are people out there who are better suited for them, like as friends, and as more than friends, they see that person being you. So we're going to take a look at this card. I'm going to read this from the book. Wow, yeah, we have listen with your heart. You are listening, but you need to hear with a loving heart. So for them to listen to their heart has been very challenging. This could be someone that ghosted you at some point in time, and it was very difficult for them to do. They were running away from themselves. But we also have number 1. It was really hard for them to have faith, right? They never thought they were going to feel these emotions for someone again after some sort of heartbreak in their life. And so thinking that you're going to be the one that fulfills that role for them, it inspires them, but it also scares the living bejeebus out of them. Okay, like they're like, oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm going to do. But at the same time, they're also like, you're the motivation. And they don't knock that. They've recognized that they wake up in the morning because of a chance to be a better version of themselves, for the potential that you two could get together. And even if you don't, like it's okay for them, because it's given them a reason to live, a reason to align with themselves, and that to them it's irreplaceable. Wow, this is a really deep message. It says opportunity is here for you to bring a loving perspective to a situation. It is easy to get wrapped up in the words being said. What does your heart say about this situation? It knows the truth. Trust that. Sit still. Take a deep breath and ask your heart, what do you need to know? Love's first task is to listen. Do you have a habit of drifting away while someone else is speaking? Do you get entangled in your own thoughts? Take time to process what is being communicated before you respond or react. Learning to listen with an open heart will help you receive guidance or affirm something you already know. It says 2 young women are shown in this card. One holds a seashell to the other's ear. The seashell represents good things that can be discovered in a challenging situation. The pod of dolphins playing in the background denotes the joy that may be found. The white horse may be called to control your emotions. Stop and listen. What do you hear, and how can it bring more happiness to your life? That's the thing. I feel like you share something somewhere. Maybe you have a podcast or a blog or something online where you're just sharing bits about yourself online and your wisdom or whatever it is. There's a piece of you that you're sharing somewhere, and this is someone who is constantly, like, they're your biggest fan, whether you know it or not, right? They're always there, and they want to know what it is. Like, even if this is someone you've been married to for years, like, they still want to get to know you, because they feel like they'll never get to know the whole you, and they're so inspired by that. And so you've taught them to listen with a different version of themselves, with their heart instead of their mind, or instead of their judgments and their prejudices. You've taught them to listen with love, and that has helped them heal in ways that they couldn't even have ever imagined was possible. And you're the inspiration for them. And that is what they think about when they think about you. Like, this is the hidden truth. You're their inspiration. And it's absolutely, I mean, this was just a beautiful reading. So beautiful. Like, I'm so honored I got to tap into their connection and to your connection with them, and to their energy and your energy, because you both are going to change the way the world sees love. And that's such a beautiful blessing. So thank you. But this is what I see for you here. If you feel like this is your message, leave the little seashell emoji down below and say, I've learned to listen to my heart, knowing that it guides me to seeing the world with compassionate, open eyes. And if this resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, please check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. With that, I want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this love story reading. Like, truly, this felt like a story unfolding before my eyes, and it was truly an honor to do this for you. With that, until next time, pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful arrowhead, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be your reading on Unspoken Truths, their hidden thoughts about you. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey with me. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And if you happen to be new here, welcome. This is a reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. We do things completely differently around here, so if these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And also just quickly wanting to point out that we are getting someone's thoughts about you. So with the good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, whatever comes through, remembering as we move forward that this is not a reflection of you. This is where this person's at. So leave that with them. This is not a reason to take that on and to harbor resentment, anger, or ill will feelings towards these individuals. We just need to remember coming into this that whatever comes through, it's really honestly where this person's at, even if it has to do with thoughts about you. Okay, so just wanted to point that out. Now, I did get a channel message while I was shuffling, and it came back through, which I'm really glad, because usually after going through the other 2 readings and getting to this point, I don't remember the channel message, but it did come back through. When I was showing the arrowhead, I picked up Bon Jovi, Shot Through the Heart. You know that song, shot through the heart, and you're too late, darling, you give love a bad name. right? So that was coming through really strongly in the beginning, and that was something that was really specifically tied to pile number 3. Just wanted to reiterate that before we get into it, but let's find out what this reading is going to entail, okay? So, source for pile number 3, the unspoken truths. What are their hidden thoughts about pile number 3? What are their hidden thoughts about pile number 3, source, that you would like to share these unspoken truths today? What would you like to know? Or what would you like us to know? And they've kind of been all over the place. Pile 1 and 2 were completely different energies, so we're going to tap in and see what's coming through for you. We've got the 7th house, we've got Cancer energy, and we've got Neptune. Okay. You know, this is interesting. Right off the bat, they're thinking that you don't actually understand the type of relationship that they want. They are thinking that you are asking them to have something more or even less than what they're willing to give, okay? They feel like you're blinded by your emotions in this situation. So there's this energy where they're thinking like you want this connection, and maybe they do too, right? With the 7th house, they do think about having a connection with you. But there's also this element of having to deal with a lot in the background. They might be going through some legal issues. They might be going through some custody issues. They might be going through a divorce as well, or a separation of some sorts is what this feels like. But there's this energy that they're feeling pressured into giving you more than what they have. And they think that you're not seeing clearly what it is that they're trying to express to you. And now that could be that they're not expressing, right? That could be that they're just giving little offhanded hints here and there, and they're expecting you to recognize that. And remember, if this is someone you're talking to, it is okay to ask, right? Like, tell me how you feel. I won't know if you don't tell me. That is not a bad thing. We have, in society, we've come to this place where it's like, it's scary just to ask a person how they feel because we're afraid of rejection. But isn't it better to know why you're getting rejected than to wonder, like, what the heck? I thought they liked me. I thought this. I thought that. Like, you know, and I feel like that's the energy that's coming in. This is someone who, it's like you're frustrated, right? Bon Jovi, you give love a bad name. That energy's coming in, and maybe you feel that way about them. Maybe they feel this way about you. And remember, it's nothing personal. Okay, that's not what this is. Just there's definitely a disconnect between where you're at and ready to give in a relationship and where this person's at. It's like, oh, they're showing me like trying to push two magnets together that won't go together. You know, when you have the poles, the same like south poles together, and no matter how hard you try to shove them together, they're not going to go together. They'll never attract. They're always going to repel one another. And that's this type of energy here. It's like you're repelling each other. And they think that way. They think, why is it that pile number 3 doesn't see that I'm not in a position to give them what it is that they're asking for? Whether that's a little or a lot or nothing at all, like it doesn't matter where it's at, right? That's what they're thinking right now. And they do think that you and them would have a very toxic relationship between the two of you. It would be full of a lot of blame and resentment and prejudice, and that there would be a lot of hurt, and there'd be shame that would come up between the two of you, and you would blame each other, and you might hate each other for putting each other in this situation. And they're thinking that between you and them, it would be something that's very codependent. Okay, there's not that, well, there's healing there, but they're thinking that it's something that would be codependent. So there's a feeling of being smothered here, whether that's them smothering you or you smothering them. Remember, I'm not telling you this because that's the energy that you're actually in. I'm just saying this is what I'm feeling when I'm tapping into their energy. Okay, there's a sense of being smothered, and it's very overwhelming, and a sense of someone trying to control this beyond what it actually is. Okay, wow, this is a very interesting energy already. Okay, so and we're gonna bear it all today, guys. Like, that's the thing. This is not a what we want to hear type of reading. This is literally where they're at, and we're tapping into that energy, okay? So that's why I said in the beginning, not to take it personal what comes out, right? Of course, take accountability for the part that you may or may not have played, right? Taking accountability for ourselves that's where great healing comes from, right? Remembering that where a person's thoughts are, that's because they're trying to navigate their own emotional triggers, okay? And we know that that is something that's incredibly difficult. So, source for pile number 3, what are the unspoken truths? Their hidden thoughts about pile number 3, source. What would you like to bring forth? What would you like to tell us? Their hidden thoughts about pile number 3, source. Yeah, there's a lack of understanding between the two of you. Like, it's not that you both aren't attracted to each other. I do feel like there's a sense of being attracted to each other. You both have an attraction for one another, but this is one of those situations where it feels like attraction is not enough, right? Like, love is not enough. There's a lack of respecting each other's boundaries here. There's a lack of respect for each other here. There's a sense of bringing in past issues and past emotions to both sides of the relationship. It just feels like this is one of those raw situations that it's difficult to let go of how you feel, and thus how you're feeling becomes the way you act when you're with this person or when you're trying to reach out to this person. And the same with them, okay? It's not just a one-sided situation. This is very much a dual-sided situation here, okay? All right, source, so tell us, what are their hidden thoughts about pile number 3? Thank you. Yeah, like, this feels painful, and I'm feeling it in my gut, and I'm also getting a really sharp pain on my right side. Like, I don't know what's there, but it's on my right side. It's like, this is something that it's so painful. This is something that's painful to face. It's something that's painful to deal with. It's something that is just, there's just a lot of issues here. Wow, yeah, definitely dealing with legal issues. We've got justice and the Page of Swords coming out here. Okay, so before we even look at what's on the bottom of the deck, there's this energy where it's like they're dealing with something they cannot share. They cannot share it because there's a lot of information that has to stay hidden or out of the press, is what I'm hearing, out of the press. And what they're saying is that this person is trying to gain favor on a situation in their life, okay, in the legal situation, okay, and so they're dealing with this, and then they have you coming in and wanting to be with them, or there's that essence of the memory of you coming in, okay? That's so some of you are not talking to this person now. Some of you are trying to talk to this person. I feel like this is someone who does leave you on red a lot and doesn't answer back, and it's absolutely frustrating and overwhelming, right? I'm getting a really like sense of confusion. There's a sense of overwhelm. There's a sense of deep anxiety when it comes to this situation. Like, there's a lot. I feel like my hands want to start shaking really bad right now, and I feel it in my stomach. Like, I just want to go and you know, take some Alka-Seltzer or something because my stomach's starting to hurt. This is an interesting. There's a lot of visceral feelings with this pile, and there's a lot of not wanting to face the reality of what's going on. And while, yes, they're spying on you, while, yes, they're keeping tabs on you, and they know that you're keeping tabs on them as well, they're just not in a place where they're ready to give that to you. And they recognize that, but they're also looking at this as their biggest fear is thinking that you and them would be absolutely toxic for each other, because they're looking at it as this, whatever they're going through. Like, they're looking at it as a mirror of whatever they're going through. And I feel like for you too, pile 3, I feel like there's this sense that maybe you're looking at this situation through the mirror of whatever you've gone through in the past, you know, being abandoned, or someone cheating on you, or someone leaving you behind, or someone, you know, hurting you and breaking your heart. And so there's definitely this energy that's between you two. That's why it's repelling each other. That's why there's no attraction where it's like you're coming together. Now, that's not to say that there's not attraction. I do feel like there's absolute physical attraction between the two of you. But right now, that's what it is. And that's what they're thinking too. They're like, there's absolutely a ton of physical attraction between us. Like, we are very attracted to each other, but that's all it would ever be. That's all it can be right now. So let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. The Strength card. So I do feel like, here's the thing, it's like trying to gather the strength to move on, but not seeing things clearly. Yeah, they're dealing with a family situation. So this could be, again, child support. This could be getting custody. This could be dealing with an inheritance of sorts. With the World in reverse, we see there's a lot of conceited energy coming from this situation. So this could be a third party's energy coming in as well. But I do feel like there's just too much. There's too many people here. We have too many people in this reading, okay? There's no way that there can be balance between you and them right now because there's just too much going on. Yeah, there's a big change that's happening in their life, okay? Essence of a child with the page here, okay? The legal system being represented by the Justice card. Then we have them trying to find the strength to face their own internal demons. So yes, they think about you, pile number 3, but I'm going to be real with you as we get into this reading. I don't feel like this is going to be about what they think about you as much as what's going on right now, because there's an essence of you needing to know. And this did happen a little bit on one of the other readings, which is why I prep you when I say we do things a lot differently here. I'm not going to try and force Source to give us the question, because Source is the one that's in charge, okay? Source's will be done. And so this is Source coming in and reminding you that while it's nice to know that you're being thought about, of course, and what those thoughts are, there's an essence here and there's an energy that this person has most of their focus on something else. And the focus is on this big change that has to do with something that is very vulnerable in their lives, okay? Like, again, if it is something that is them getting custody, it is them fighting a business partner. They could be fighting a business partner here. Getting an inheritance, getting some sort of settlement or something like that. It's brand new and they're unsure of where this is taking them, okay? They're not sure of what's next. But there's an element of a fight here, and their main thing is there's people that they're dealing with right now that have the whole of their attention. And so when they stop to settle, this is someone who's probably just sleeping. Like, as soon as they calm down, they probably just go to sleep. They might have dreams of you, yes, but this is someone who does not have time to think of you. Not that they wouldn't like to, but there's this element of feeling like this is something that's gonna be toxic for them. And that's why they're not putting a lot of effort into thinking about you right now, because they've got too much other stuff happening in their life, okay? It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with where they're at. Now, I didn't do this for the other piles, but because of what type of energy is coming through, I'm just going to try and get some clarifiers here. Source, can you please clarify this energy that's coming through for us? Give us a bigger picture here. What their hidden thoughts are about pile 3. So we've got the 3 of Cups coming in. Don't worry, be happy. So they want happiness. This is someone who wants happiness, but they don't feeling like that's something that's possible. Exactly. Yeah, we've got the 3 of Swords. They're not feeling like that's something that's possible for them right now. Okay, now in the 3 of Swords, this does mirror the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot. I read the Tarot Marseille. I am familiar with Rider-Waite-Smith meanings, and I know in depth what they mean, but coming from the Rider-Waite-Smith and into the Tarot Marseille, when we look at the 3 of Swords from the Tarot Marseille, we're looking at divine intervention. Okay, their life right now falling apart in the way that it is, this is divine intervention. So we're looking at divine intervention, but we're also looking at elements of a broken heart. This is someone who's experiencing a deep hurt, a deep pain in their life right now. And they're not capable of thinking about happiness with someone else. They just don't have the capacity for it right now, because they're trying to grieve something that is very difficult, that has them bound right now. Okay, look at this image. Look at these swords being bound by this red thread. Okay, and it makes me think of the 3 fates, the red thread of fate, and then the blood that's dripping down the blades. This is something that is incredibly painful for them. Okay, something they never imagined was ever going to happen in their life. And it's not that, again, it's not that they don't think about you, it's just that they don't have the capacity to think of anything right now. And so everything to them that could potentially bring them happiness, they're automatically writing it off as toxic, right? This is someone who self-sabotages. This is someone who is very down in the dumps. This is someone who is in a very negative state of mind. And honestly, pile 3, this is probably someone you just want to let be for now. Even if there's a label here in this relationship, this is someone you want to come back to themselves because they're not who they are. This is someone who's living, they're the living embodiment of their hurt right now. And yeah, and we've got the Daughter of Swords again on the bottom. Yeah, so this is an element of truth coming in. They've been fighting a lot. They're not ready to change. There's a refusal to change here. Okay? And the wisdom here for you is to remember that it's okay. It's okay to let someone go. Like, if they're meant to be yours, they'll come back to you. But that's scary for us to do, because what if they don't come back? And I want this to be the person that comes back. So it causes us to hold on. And there's this element now where it's like this person would never be able to, in the state that they're in, they would never be able to give you what it is that you need, what it is that you deserve, and what it is that you would ask for, because they're just not in that frame of mind. Let's see what else comes out. Please give me one more here, Source. For pile number 3, there's the story that's coming in. Okay, so we have the 9 of Cups and we have the 8 of Swords. Exactly. This is what I was feeling. This is this energy with the 3 of Cups and the 3 of Swords repeated over with the 9 of Cups and the 8 of Swords, okay? This person cannot even think about happiness. They can't. Thinking about happiness hurts too much, because what they're letting go of, they thought was happiness. Okay, this is someone who is grieving. They're just grieving so much that they cannot think about you, pile 3. They can't. And I know that's not what you want to hear, and I get that. But again, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I feel like there's a need to hear this. There's a need to hear this message, because there's an element of holding on to something and holding out for hope right now. And right now, I'm not saying to let this person go and say like, oh, I'm going to write them off or whatever. There's this message that's coming in for you that it's important for you to just focus on yourself right now. Not focus on this person, because this person can't focus on you. They can't. They do not have the space in their mind, right? Right now they're fighting a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of their worst case scenarios are coming true right now. They're experiencing them. But we also see with the chrysalis and the butterfly about to be born, from having gone through the caterpillar phase and the turning into goo and becoming the butterfly afterwards, right? They're about to be born again, and that's the rebirth that they're going through. But if you've had any rebirths in your life and you've had to let go or grieve, you know this is not a fun time for them, and you know that it's just like dark night of the soul energy, which anybody can experience, right? But when we look at the 9 of Cups, which in the Tarot Marseille denotes true happiness, the 9 of Cups is true happiness and fulfillment. To come out with the 8 of Swords, we see it's just something they cannot think about, they can't imagine. So, which tells me that on some level they've thought that you could bring them happiness. But thinking about that and thinking about you being able to bring them happiness makes them grieve even harder what it is that they've lost. Okay? And right now, it's up to them to go through that grieving process. And this is not something that you're meant to be a part of right now. It's not that you wouldn't be a great support system. I believe that you would be, and you would be there to help them through it, absolutely. But this is something that, like many of us, we have to go through some of these situations completely alone. Because we have to find ourselves, and that's exactly what's going on here. And I feel like this is also Source coming in and saying with the divine intervention, like, I won't allow this to happen right now because it is not in alignment. There's no alignment between you and this person at this time, and I'm not going to let this person come in for you to lose yourself, to come down to that level of you also grieving something that's not even yours to grieve. Okay, so on the bottom of the deck, yeah, the Wheel of Fortune, right? There's a lot that's going on behind the scenes that you don't see. Okay, Source is turning the wheel in your favor. It may not be in the package that you thought it was going to be in. But are you willing to trust? Are you willing to trust the process? Are you willing to have faith that Source has your best interest at heart? Which sometimes is hard for us to hear when it's not what we want. When it's not the exact thing that we expect or the exact thing that we're desiring. Right? And that's what I feel like has been really hard for you right now. But there's a spiritual victory here. There's a spiritual awareness that's coming from you. This is something that's going to happen to you. Okay? And there's going to be hope that comes from this shift in your own perspective, where it's hope of seeing yourself and realizing it's not up to you. Wow. Yeah, it's not up to you to take on other people's hurt and pain. We have the 5 of Coins again, which we're seeing here with the heart, or with the heart, with the rose that's wilting and the rain that's falling down behind it, right? The grief, the sorrow, the loss that we're seeing here. But the 5 of Coins in the Tarot Marseille talks about change. Whether it's in the upright or the reverse, it talks about change. It's just a big shift that we're going through. This person's meant to deal with this shift alone, without you in their life, and they cannot think about you at this time because the grief is too massive. And it might be like, well, that's not fair. No grief would be too massive for me not to think about this person. But I feel like if you look back on certain times in your life, that there are times that you went through where grief was so big for you that nothing else mattered. Because grief is one of the hardest things that we have to experience. Yes, we have the first house, again, denoting that this is a solo journey for them, okay? Individuality, self-image, and approach to life. This is a solo journey for them. This is something they have to do by themselves. And also, it could be that Source has kind of quieted the thoughts of you, because there could be a lot of thoughts of you. This person could have had a lot of thoughts of you until this situation came up. And right now, Source is quieting the thoughts of you in their mind, so that they can deal with this and face it, so that when they come, they'll be fresh, right? They'll be a fresh, new, renewed version of themselves. On the bottom, we have Leo. Yeah, self-confidence, loyalty, and creativity. Self, again, self. This is something they have to do by themselves. They have to find their self-confidence again. And this person's an incredibly loyal individual, but they're disconnected from their self right now. Like, they're relying on other people, and other people aren't coming to their aid like they would have if it was someone else. And so they're very lonely at this time. And very much in their minds, this is someone who could be an air sign, a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. They very much spend plenty of time overthinking. Heavy Libra energy coming in, okay? Heavy Libra energy coming in. Wow, we have accountability. Responsibility is a gift of love to yourself and others. So they're having to learn to take accountability for where they're at in their journey. And I feel like this is also a message to you that it's okay for you to take accountability for where you're at in your journey. We can say that we're ready for love, but is that really true? Or is it because we're still leaning into our emotional ego? And that's always a question we can ask ourselves. I'm not saying yes or no. That's not my business to say, right? You're the one that has to learn that for yourself, because everybody is different on their journey. We have false beliefs, exactly. Like with the owl here, we have this element of wisdom that's coming from the situation. It says, once the untruths that we believe about ourselves are illuminated, we are there. So, wow, let me try that again. Are illuminated, so are the ways we can release the false limitations they confine us to. And I feel like this is going back right now and saying it's like where they're thinking that this would be a toxic situation, they're basing it on a past situation, which is a limitation, right? That's a limitation that they placed on themselves. It's a limitation that they unknowingly placed on you. Okay, and right now I feel like that same thing is happening for you too. Is you're basing, they're reacting the way that they're reacting because everybody in my life has reacted like this, because everybody in my life does this, because everybody shows up like this. And so therefore you're doing the exact same thing that they're doing, but from your perspective, from however you've lived your life. So there's wisdom here in them not coming forward to you, and there's wisdom here in Source saying why they're not thinking about you at this time, because it was never about this person. It was always about bringing it back to self. And as much as they need to do this journey alone, there's something here that you also need to do alone. And that's really a challenge when we just want somebody in our lives to share this journey with, and we want somebody to love and to hold and to have, and sometimes that's just not, literally, no pun intended, it's not in the cards for us, and that's okay, right? Because Source knows us better than we know ourselves. We have angel energy here, helping those in need with no expectation of return. In the shadows, acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. So I do feel like there's someone here who's misleading this person as well, and that's why their grief is so deep. But when they do think about you, they do feel like there's this energy of love that's coming from you. And that's what I'm saying. There's this element of thinking that they would be happy with you, but immediately right after, they go back to those self-sabotaging energies where it's like, I'm not good enough for pile number 3. Pile number 3 would never want anything to do with me. Pile number 3 would hate me if they knew what I did or who I am. I'm a monster. You know, like, this is that energy right now. And that's not anything that you want in your life, because it's not your job to validate this person's existence and to convince them that they're a good person. That is something that they have to come to terms with on their own. Just because this person's made mistakes, like every person has made in their lives. I make mistakes, you make mistakes, we all make mistakes. Why? It's human of us. But if we allow our mistakes to continue to drive the way we see ourselves in a negative light, then we're in our shadow. And so they're very much in their shadow right now. We have Companion on the bottom with loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. So we see there'd be a sense of loyalty between the two of you two. There might very well be soon when this person is able to heal, but they need space and time to heal, okay? We have betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. This is where this person's at. Somebody has betrayed them deeply. Deeply has betrayed them. Broke their heart, used things against them. Like I said, they can't share something with you. The reason they can't share something with you is because someone has used their vulnerabilities against them. Okay, and that might be their vulnerabilities. It might be something to do with the legal system. They can't share it because of the legal system, you know, and they don't want information to get out, which could potentially lose them a case, whatever it is. But this is somebody who will not share anything. They don't share it with their friends. They don't share it with their family. They're holding this burden alone right now. And I can already feel some of you, because I know you guys are empaths, and I already know, but they don't have to carry it alone. They do. They do. Unfortunately, this is not something you can carry for them. And that's exactly how it was by design. Okay? Trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Okay, they're learning to trust in their own abilities. I feel like this person has been so disconnected from themselves that they have not been able to trust their intuition, how they feel, what they've gone through, what they've experienced. They're just thinking that life has it out for them right now. And that's, even when it comes to you, they think life had it out for them. For you too, they saw this beautiful creature that they wanted to love and be with, but that life has it out for them and they can't have you. And there's no amount of you saying, no, that's not true, that's going to make that not true. This is theirs to go through and come to that decision on their own. Okay? Yeah, look at this. Bottled up. Many unexpressed emotions. Time bomb and holding back. I can't make this energy up. There's something that's about to blow. Okay? They're very close to the edge of this all coming out and spilling over at the top. I can't look, closed off, not emotionally available, distracted, hurt in the past. Source is making this energy very clear. Okay, this is not me. This is Source coming through with the message. The cards are making it very clear. The energy is very clear. Like I said, I got that channel message. Saw it through the heart and you're too late. Darling, you give love a bad name. That's the lyrics in that song. That's what came through when I saw when I picked up the arrowhead in the, where it's to pick your pile and you choose which pile you want. As soon as I picked up the arrowhead, that song came through so loud. It was so loud. I was like, holy crap. Like, and I mentioned it, and I usually don't mention channeled messages when I'm, just showing the gemstones and the dice and whatever. Okay? So we have ex-lover, memories, the past, old flame, and nostalgic. Okay, so right now they've got someone that's, I feel like they're getting a divorce. Like, this really feels like a divorce energy, or they're separating, and there's a lot of different things involved, like finances. We have money problems, work, material things, and success. So they're splitting up finances here. Like, their whole life is falling apart right now, okay? And it's uncomfortable, and they don't want anybody to know about it. We have mask, hidden motive, conceal, disguise, and lying. Like, they're not going to share it with you. They're just not. They're not in the space where they can share it with you. It's not because they don't think that you're capable of handling it. It's just because they don't trust anybody right now, and that's nothing personal. They don't trust themselves, so how could they trust anyone else? Doesn't matter how loyal you are, how trustworthy you are. This person has learned to distrust themselves, and through that they've lost themselves. And so this is about them finding themselves again. And there's nothing in here where it's like in finding themselves again, they can't sit thinking about you all day because it just hurts too much. Wow, I guess they want them out. That was a lot, Source, but I'll take them. Alright, I'm going to leave that because you just had a whole grip of those cards come out. On the bottom, we've got, look, I can't. Thoughts and isolated. I'm going to leave that out because that's what it is. It's like, yes, they want to think about you, but they're completely isolated by the situation, by what's going on. We have facade and beliefs, right? They're not sure of who they are. They just don't know who they are right now. They can't know who they are because they're living in the past. And Source is coming in saying, trust in divine timing. It'll all work out for your highest good. But remember, working out for your highest good is not it working out the way that we want it to. We have to let go of that. Us wanting something is our emotional ego. It'll work out in our highest good. No matter what happens, we have to trust. Whether this person comes back into our lives, whether this person decides that we're the one for them, whether this person doesn't and chooses to go a different direction, whether we never talk to this person again, whatever happens, it is for our highest good. We have to trust that. Okay, even if it's not what we want, it will be what we need. We always get what we need. If we don't have it, we don't need it. Okay, that's by design. That's how Source works. Wow, this is a powerful message coming in. All right, let's get a couple more of these and then we'll see what the rest of your cards are. What else would you like to tell pile number 3, Source? I wish that this was more about what they're thinking about you, and I can't change that. I can't change the fact that I'm an energy reader, and I never would. But I will be honest with you, okay? I will be honest. I can't. We've got trust coming out. The situation is calling for you to have faith. Wow. Right. So there's Source saying, like, just trust. And I feel like that's even a message for me in this moment, too, because it's like, I have to trust. Like, I'm a channel, and sometimes being a channel, people are like, oh, well, you're just saying all these things, and it's not about that. It never has been about that. It's like all my life growing up and having to tell people things that sometimes they just plainly don't want to hear. It's a very uncomfortable thing. It is incredibly uncomfortable, right? And so it's hard, and that's kind of what I feel like this person is feeling right now. Like, what maybe the situation, if you're pushing really hard for this person to talk to you, if you're pushing really hard for this person to be in your life, the only reason I'm bringing this up is because the discomfort that this person is feeling is palpable. Like, it is huge. It's coming in. So for me to mention that, for Source to want me to mention that, is saying here that this person is feeling uncomfortable right now around you because they've got so much else going on. They just don't have space for you. And pile 3, if that resonates with you, okay, because it's not going to resonate with everyone, and that's okay. But if that resonates with you, then we have to ask ourselves, Why am I so overwhelmed or feeling like I have to overwhelm myself to make sure that this person is a part of my life? Why? What is the answer to that? Like, what is coming up with that? And then digging into that, well, because I really love this person, or never felt like this about anybody, or it's like I can only think about this person. Okay, but what is this person going to give you that you cannot give yourself? What? And that's where healing begins, right? That's where real healing comes from. All right, so Source, what else would you like to tell pile number 3? We've got express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture, okay? This is not a go ahead and say, hey, come into my life. I love you. I trust you. No. This is saying, Source saying, express your love to yourself. Right now, it has to be about self-love, okay? And I know these cards talk about this other person, but that's not the energy that I'm getting with this. The energy is all about self, okay? So as much as it would be nice to say this person's in their own realm, in their own ring in life, in the cosmos, the truth is that you both are mirroring each other. That's been a very real, clear message across the board with all 3 piles, is you haven't realized just how much you're mirroring one another. And that means that there's some part of you, pile number 3, and this is again, I'm not trying to be rude. We're in Mercury retrograde, so keep that in mind as this is coming through, because I'm doing my best to say this, and it is a loving message, okay? It really is. But there's some part of you that's not taking accountability for where you're at, and we had the accountability card come out. Okay, and that's hard, because it's like, no, it's this person, it's them, it's all them, but it's easy. And this was a message about another person in another pile that was blaming the person in the pile for how they were feeling. They didn't want to take accountability for themselves. Okay, they didn't. And you could have watched all 3 piles, and if you did, leave a purple heart down below. I appreciate you. Even if you didn't, I still appreciate you. I'm so honored you're here. But there's this element of not being able to take accountability for yourself because you're so wrapped up in the energy of this other person, which I completely understand, right? But you don't deserve that. You don't deserve to be so wrapped up into another person that you're not seeing yourself. So it feels like Source is reminding you to come back to see yourself. There's an element of not seeing yourself here and being so stuck on this other person right now. And it's almost like this person has become the excuse for not looking at yourself. Wow. Look at this. We have children. Your love life is being affected by children. So this person may have children. You may not even know they have children, or you may know that they have children, right? So right now, this person's only thoughts and concerns are with their kids. And we can't be mad about that. I mean, if you have kids, or if you had kids, wouldn't that, if they were on your mind, like, that's the thing that would matter the most to you, right? Like that's something that is understandable. Like, we can't fault someone for only wanting to think about their kids, or only wanting to put their kids first. Like, and if we are, then that shows that we're feeling out of sorts ourselves, okay? So I do feel like these 2 want to come out first. True love. Yeah, this is a romance of a lifetime. This is why this is so hard. This is why this is so hard. And again, this doesn't necessarily mean that this is your true love. Okay, because we see here there's a lot of elements of the emotional ego coming through in the reading today. And so there's this element of seeing this as, this is my true love. This is why it's so hard. And I was just talking about that, right? I was just, I can't let this person go because they're the person for me. And like, I love them so much. They're my true love. And like, no one's going to replace them. And Source is never asking you to replace somebody. Love is a beautiful thing. Okay? And why love is a beautiful thing is because it's infinite. So every love that we ever encounter and experience in our lives, it will always be different. But the unique thing about it is that we can always draw on more love to give. So if we're only putting ourselves in a situation where it has to be a certain person, and we're saying, no, even if we're miserable, and we know it's toxic. We know it's turned toxic. We know that we're playing a toxic role in that, but we're so bent on it having to be this person. We're forgetting the most amazing thing about love, and that's that there is always more that we can cultivate for other people, and it will be different. But maybe there's something beautiful in that difference that we can really lean into, right? And that's what this feels like here. It's just source reminding you that love is infinite. Okay, not getting caught up in the label. This is my true love. It has to be this person. It has to be this person. Not getting caught up in that. Yeah, playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. And I think it's interesting that playfulness would come out on your reading when we see so much about kids coming in. So this may also be the mirror to you, is to begin having fun in life again. Maybe you've been so serious about love, which is fine, but love, it's really not that serious. It's really not. It was never designed to be that serious. In fact, it's meant to bring us back to our inner child. That's the magic of love. Right? And so this reminder for you, pile 3, to come back to your inner child. And I will put this on there. I'm going to definitely put a trigger warning for this pile, because this is a really deep pile and it's not easy message to hear. But I do feel like there's a necessary message and an element that needs to be brought through here. Courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. Exactly. So there's an element of facing a deep fear here for both of you, really. They're facing a fear of having to let go of an element of their life that they thought was always going to be. And right now you're having to face an element of your own life and having to let go of someone who you thought it could only be. Wow, that was well, I don't even think I could say that again if I tried. Wow, that was a really deep message. Okay. Yeah, music. So this is a musician, a snake charmer, harmony, and melodic. Source is also saying here that you will get messages through music, which is so telling because we got the Bon Jovi song right at the beginning. Like, I got that even before I got to your pile. I got that song coming in for you, pile 3. And healing. Wounds, improving, mending, and progress. So there's healing that's coming, okay? And that's for you and for them, but I feel like this is more of a message for you, pile 3. Look, control tactics, exactly. And we see elements of control throughout the reading, right? And I say this, when I say this, it's truly to look at ourselves, right? Taking accountability for the part that we played. We cannot always see ourselves as the saint, because that's absolutely absurd, right? We are human and we make mistakes just as much as the next person, and honoring that and knowing that that's okay. There's nothing wrong with us if we made a mistake, or if we tried to control a situation, or if we were not taking responsibility and accountability for ourselves. Like, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But where healing begins is taking accountability for those parts of ourselves that aren't so pretty, right? That aren't so fluffy and unicorny and butterfly-y, that are kind of poop, right? It is kind of poop, and that's why we don't want to deal with it. Storm, unexpected. This hurt a lot. It hurt both of you. Unknowingly, you hurt each other. And you didn't, neither one of you meant to. Neither one of you were like, oh, I'm going to hurt them. Like, I'm going to lash back out at them. Like, And maybe that did happen along the way, where it was very like an eye for an eye energy. But I feel like the thing is that when the hurt initially happened, it was never intentional on either side. It was never intentional. It was unexpected. Yeah. Pluto, transformation. Okay. And Pluto talks about the subconscious as well. And Pluto's like the furthest planet from us. And I don't even think they call it a planet anymore, but I don't give a darn. For me, Holy Toledo, it will always be a planet, because I grew up learning it was a planet. Okay, so I just can't, that's just not going to change for me. It's just not. And maybe I'm being stubborn, but in astrology too, it's still referred to as a planet, so we're just going to go with it. But Pluto talking about transformation, and transformation of the shadow, right? Transformation of the jealousy, the control, the obsessions, the things that we don't like to talk about. Okay, and I think that's really telling for that to come out. So we have autumn with harvest. So this fall could be a very important time for you in your healing journey. But we also have this element of letting go, releasing, right? Look at that, the shadow side, the moon, the dark night of the soul. Yeah, so we're being very clear here. Source is showing this is both you and your shadow, Okay, this is both of you in your shadow, and that's okay. That's a part of our journey. Please do not take that like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me, or like, how dare you call out my shadow? No, like, it's just understanding that's what it is. That's why tarot is so powerful, because we can use tarot to traverse our subconscious mind and understand our shadow if we let it. But we could also be triggered by it and mad about the trigger and let it just continue to rotate in our lives and unfurl like the Fibonacci sequence. But it's up to us, right? We have to choose what works for us in that moment. What are we ready for? We have distance, repeat, or timeout. Yeah, so separation here. There's a distance between you two, right? And again, we see this, they're mirrored, their images being mirrored in the water on the sand, right? So again, you're not seeing that you're mirroring each other. You're looking at each other, right? But not realizing that it's both of you mirroring each other. So it could be a water sign here, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy. I also feel like it's just showing that this is a very emotional situation for you. And then self-worth and expectation. This is a really telling card to come out, because right now it's letting go of expectation and coming back to self-worth. What we expect will always leave us in disappointment, no matter what. It will always lead us towards disappointment. So instead of expecting things, remembering our worth and our value, when we remember our worth and our value, we understand that we don't need to expect things, because we'll automatically magnetize our worth and our value back to us. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this card. I did not mean for your reading to go like so much longer than everybody else's, but it happens. So we're going to read this from the book and see what we've got here. Wow, practice compassion. See things from a fresh perspective. What? Okay. Thank you, Source. Thank you so much for this confirmation. All right, number 15. Look. It says, everyone benefits when we try to look at things from someone else's viewpoint. Walking in someone else's shoes can bring us to a tender understanding that may change how we are feeling now. Love and compassion always bring positive outcomes. There are so many worthy ways to practice compassion. Volunteer your time at a nursing home or a homeless shelter. Donation of clothing or food are always appreciated by those in need. If you feel so inclined or are looking for inspiration, read up about individuals who dedicated their lives to compassionate works. There are many biographies of great philanthropists such as Mother Teresa, Mahatma Gandhi, and Tenzin Gyatso, and the 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet. It says, this boy, he wears a headdress of feathers and branches. The feathers in his hair suggest someone is reaching out to you. Pay attention and give support and love where needed. And I feel like it's not them that they're reaching out to you, and it maybe in a way they are. I feel like maybe they're reaching out in the way that they just need your compassion and understanding for their situation is difficult, instead of this feeling of what I was feeling in the beginning, that smothering, right? Like, and it might not be that you're smothering them, but they might be taking it as you smothering them because it's so overwhelming. Right there, and that's just because everything is magnified for them right now. Not only astrologically are we going through some huge shifts. I'm recording this on the 8/8 portal, which is absolutely huge as well. But we're in the midst of Mercury retrograde, which I don't know about for you guys, but particularly this has probably been one of the hardest Mercury retrogrades that I have ever gone through. So everything is amplified right now for this person. Okay, and so practicing compassion, and I feel like that's their cry for help right now. It's just having compassion for the potential of what this person could be going through, instead of seeing it from what you want or what you expect from them. Rather just letting things be as they are. And I know that's not an easy message, and I apologize that this is what came through for you, but I also... It's difficult because I too have had messages like this for me, and I know exactly how healing they can be. So if you've made it this far, Pile 3, first off, like, let me give you a round of applause, because that's a big deal and that takes a lot of courage, and you got the courage card, okay? And secondly, let me give you a big energetic hug, right? Because you're not alone, all right? In fact, let's put that down there. If you're on pile 3 and you felt like this was your pile, we're just going to make it easy today. Leave a blue heart down below and say you're not alone. And that's going to be your confirmation to claiming this reading, okay? Is that a blue heart, you're not alone. So I feel like it's just that reminder that we're not walking this journey alone. We all have those moments when we're incredibly human. You know what? I am a Blue Heart Club myself here, guys, okay? I've been in it, and I've done this very same thing. And I learned some very crucial lessons from being in this energy as well. And so I understand from my own experience how difficult it can be to open up to hearing these messages, okay? And I also appreciate why Source has created me in the way that Source created me to be a channeler like this. So while it's uncomfortable, I also know there's benefit for it as well. So with that, if it resonated with you, it would really mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, please check out the description box. We'll have everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. And with that, I want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this incredibly powerful, deep message. And until next time, pile number 3, stay human. Bye.